I want to make another video. I'm just learning how. This would be my second YouTube watercolor tutorial. I have been using watercolors for quite some time now, but more seriously over the past year and a half. I've been making cards, watercolor cards, and selling them at a local art store. And making a variety of commissions. This particular piece is a commission, and somebody has asked for a snowman couple, snowman and snowwoman couple with a snow cat. So I'm going to go through how I create this. The first thing I'm going to do is use masking fluid and mask out the areas that I want to save when I apply the background color. I want them saved as white. So to do that, I wet my brush, and I'm going to start with a number 4 round brush. I wet it, and then I roll it around in my soap. I have here just a bar of Ivory soap, and I'm just going to roll it in there and get my brush coated with this soap. And then I'm going to put my brush in the masking fluid and begin to apply that masking fluid onto my snow people. I've already sketched out my snow people, and not only will the masking fluid save the white of the paper, but I'll be able to see my sketch as well. So I have just cleaned my brush and applied more soap to it, and I'm getting more masking fluid. These are bigger snow people, and so I'll need quite a bit. The trick to this is to make sure I've covered all the parts of this snowball so that when I apply paint on top, that I actually save the entire circular area. I'm constantly rinsing off my brush and then reapplying the soap. The reason I put soap on is so that the masking fluid doesn't stick to the bristles when I clean the brush. I have had that happen, and it just wrecks the brush, and these are nice brushes, so I want to take good care of them. When I get this bottom snow area, I'm also going to be covering the cat in the same brush stroke. If you're following along, you'll want to, I'm sure you have sketched out a snow person or snow people ahead of time. And then are just beginning to mask out these spaces. This is Winsor & Newton masking fluid. It works well. I've been using it for many years. And I'm just cleaning my brush again, getting more masking fluid again. I'm not only saving the white of the snowman's head, but also his hat and the little pom-pom. Cat's tail, and just making sure I've got the entirety of this cat's little body. Okay. So it looks like I have all the parts that I'm wanting to mask out. So now I'm going to clean my brush again. And then I'm going to get some more masking fluid And I'm going to, just a sec, I can see a little bit of masking fluid built up there. Clean my brush one more time. And get more soap. And I'm going to put snowflakes on this piece by splattering the masking fluid. And I'll do that again. Super. Okay, now I need to let this dry before I can apply any paint, so I'll stop the video here and start up again once it's dried. Okay, so the masking fluid is now dry and I can begin to apply my background color. I have here a number 8 round brush, and I have Cotmann watercolor paper, excuse me, Cotmann watercolors, and I have Prussian Blue, Dioxazine Purple, dark green, and Payne's gray, and I'll be using these colors for the background. So first I'm going to wet my card with my brush, and probably could even use a bigger brush to wet the paper, but this will do. It's going to get all the parts that I need. So I wet the paper so that it's well saturated and has a sheen to it, but not so wet that it has puddles left behind. Just up to the horizon line that I've marked there. It's a little hill that these snow people are on. So I'll push down my masking tape a little bit. You can see that it's lifted and my color will run into that. Okay, so that's nice and wet. And so now I'm going to go into my Prussian Blue, just straight Prussian Blue. I'm going to begin applying it to my paper. Prussian Blue is such a lovely color, such a lovely hue for the particular effects that I want to have on my background with the salt I'm going to apply in a little bit. The salt reacts very just beautifully strong with this Prussian Blue color. Good. Now I'm going to get a bit of the purple and add a little bit of that here and there. Just to add a little interest in the sky. Blend it in. And a little bit of Payne's gray, maybe in the top layers, top area of the sky and around the edges, just to add a bit of drama. Now I'm just going to tilt my board. let some of these colors run together. That's what I'm doing. Just aids in the blending process. Moves around the colors a little bit. And along the edges where it's quite dark, I'll just lift a little. Okay, now I'm going to go into the dark green mixture. Actually, I have added some Prussian Blue and into this dark green. I'm just going to dot some in, line some in, dab some lines in to give the impression of some trees in the background. Again, just adding some interest. And now I'm going to take some salt. This is kosher salt. It has larger granules than table salt. I'm just taking a little pinch of it. I'm just going to sprinkle it randomly on this background. And then I'm going to let it sit until this salt is, until the pigment is dry. Just want to lift off this very large one. There. That'll end up having an interesting effect in the sky. I'll dab in a bit of blue where I lifted. Okay. Okay. I'll let that dry. Okay. So this is dried now, and it's time to remove the masking fluid and the salt. So I'm going to use this little square that's textured, and it's going to pick up my masking fluid and my salt. I can still see the sketch of the cat and the snow people, which I need to see. Just rubbing this. All right, now I'm just going to dump this in the garbage. The salt and the masking fluid, that is. Okay. And there is the sky with some really nice little salt effects and effects of the saved paper from the masking fluid, making it look like a starry or a snowy sky. Now it's time to begin painting the snow people and the snow cat. So I have 4 different brushes. I have here, they're all round, a number 6, a number 4, a number 2, and a number 1. I'm going to start with the number 6 around the snow people parts. So I showed you my color palette earlier. I have the Prussian Blue, Dioxazine Purple, this is dark green, and here's some Payne's Gray. It's dried, I'll have to spray it. And then I added some Cadmium Red Medium and some Cadmium Yellow Medium. These are all Cotmann watercolors. So I have here just a little spritzer, and I will use this on top of my dried paint just to activate the paint. There we go. So I'm going to begin with a shadow on the left side of the snow people, and I'll use some Prussian Blue mixed with a little bit of Payne's Gray to create that shadow. Okay. Just following the curve of the snow. This is a snow girl. Cleaning my brush, and now I have a wet brush with a lot less paint. Clean my brush again, and it has again a lot less paint, and I'm just going to pull this color, being extra careful here because there's actually a little cat figure. There we go. Saving the white of the cat's ears there. Okay. Now I have the look of a shadow side and a lighter side, and I think I just want to pull this out a little more, blend it out a bit more. There we go. All right, go into some more. I think I'm gonna dab right behind the cat here and lighten it up a bit. Good. And do the same thing with the snowman. That's the cat's head, cat body, bottom of the snowman. Okay, good. Clean my brush and begin pulling that paint over with a brush without pigment on it. Good. Clean that brush again and just finish the job. There we go. That looks good. Okay, and I'll let these two bottom areas dry. I just feel though that I want to extend. There. Fussing a little. Okay. I actually think I better lift that. A lot of watercolor is dabbing and trying and fixing and trying again. There we go. All right, let's carry on with these snow people bodies. It's quite wet. Clean my brush, pull it over, clean my brush, dry my brush, and continue to pull over that pigment. There we go. Good. Here's a hat right here. Great. What this is doing is giving a shadow side and a light side. It gives the illusion that the snow people, that there's a source of light coming towards them from the side. And that way it creates the illusion of form. They look rounder. There we go. Oops, I really don't want that going up into there. Okay. Good. Okay. Her face. I wanted her to be looking at him, so her hat's down lower. Pull that out. And quite light on this side. Good. Okay. Let that dry. While it dries, this is dry enough down here that I can work on the cat, and I'll get my number 2 brush for the cat. And I'm going to use a fair bit of Payne's Gray with that with that Prussian Blue for the cat. Same thing. Now my brush is clean and wet, and so that pigment can run in to the wet area and fade out. It's called gradating. Good. And the tail is also darker on this side and lightening up as it goes around the cat. Its head. Same thing. Good. Blend it out a bit more. Don't want any hard lines. Okay. I'll get details in a little bit. All right. While this dries, I'm going to work on the snow people's hats, and I'll use my number 2. I'm going into my cadmium red hue. And I think I'll lift a bit of color here to lighten up this side of the hat. Looks still like it's darker on one side, lighter on another. And then I've chosen some yellow for hers. Nice warm colors to contrast with the cool background. That was the plan. And lighten it up where there's more light. Good. Now I'm going to use my #1 brush and just get some Payne's Gray for some buttons. Now, actually, I think I'll do her eyes first because I want her smiling and looking towards him, like that. And I want him smiling and looking towards her. That's great. Aw, how sweet. Good. And the cat, going to have very little eyes. And I think for its nose, see if I have a skinnier brush handy. I do. This one is 00. It's a round, so I'm going to go into that Payne's Gray again with this brush, and I want to do details on the cat's face. Tiny, tiny brush. Little nose. There we go. Cute. And of course, whiskers. And little eyebrow whiskers too. Oh my gosh, adorable. Just want to deepen the cat's eyes a little bit, a little darker. A little darker. There we go. Okay, now I mentioned buttons. Go back to my #1 round for that. Into the Payne's Gray again, and she's going to be facing him a little bit, so her buttons are going to be slightly curving as they go down, and he is facing her. His also will be curving down his belly. Sweet. For her arm, I'll just have it. I didn't really plan this part out. I think I'll just have her arm resting on her hip. Little branch type shapes. His just heading down. Her other arm will look like it's going around him, and his arm is going around her, so like so. Good. Looks like she's patting his back or something. Nice. All right, I'm going to put in a few details on the cat. Emphasizing his tail a little more. And giving a little emphasis on some legs. Kind of look like stick legs. Maybe they are. Maybe whoever built this cat decided to do stick legs. I'm going to try to make them appear more rounded, like they're part of the sculpture, actually. There we go. Okay. What do my people need? Oh, yes, they're pom-poms and scarves, right. So, for scarves, let's see, that's a bit thick. We'll go to our number 2, and I'm going to have matching scarves, matching colors. So she'll have a yellow. And he will have a red. Just curving it around the neck. Nice. A little darker on this side. Add a bit of shadow in here. Okay, it's really starting to come alive now. What I want to happen now is, first of all, I do see a bit of masking fluid left there. I want some cast shadows, and then to fill in the pom-poms, and then to splatter some paint. So I'm going to just erase some of my pencil marks here. Okay, cast shadow. I'm going to use a little more purple in this. So I'm actually taking from my purple, I'll show you what I'm doing. Taking from purple and bringing it up into this nice blue-gray mixture. And I'll use this for my shadow. It's quite purple actually, so I'm actually going to take a little more of the Prussian blue and put it in there. Good. All right, for the shadow, I'll be using my number 6 round. Why don't I start with the cat? It's quite wet. Cute. I think I'll round that out at the top because he's not looking sideways, so we can't really see cat ears specifically. And I'll just add a bit of water to let it bleed out a bit. Good. Okay, now I want to do that for the snow people, and this shadow will bleed into the cat shadow, and that's okay. Okay, take it right from the bottom of the snow person, and it's bleeding together. That's all right. They can have combined shadows. Pull out that nice wet paint and then clean my brush and pull it out even further. There we go. Let it run off the side. Good. There would be a little bit of shadow right in here. And this is tummy. Will be casting a shadow on hers, like so. It's quite wet, so I'm actually going to dab that up. Try it again. Little touch from his tummy to hers, leaving a little shadow, and lighten it up and let it bleed out just a little, blend it out a little. There we go. Okay. I think I'm going to give them carrot noses. I'm going to take some of my yellow, add it to the side of this red here, create a little orange, and use that. Just little ones. There. Simple as that. Little carrot noses. And just where his tummy is just touching, I'm gonna put a little bit of gray in there. There's always more to do, but I have to try to stop before I'm just too fussy, because if you get too fussy, it is just so easy to wreck something that already looks great. Okay, I feel like these guys can use a bit of shadow in their white pom-poms. And this portion of the white rim of the hat. This is going to someone for Christmas. Someone's ordered it from me to be given to a family member. So it's nice to know someone's going to enjoy this little Christmas card painting. I like it. I think that's probably good for the snow people. Now, I think what I want to do is get some white gouache and create some snow drops. So here's my Winsor Newton permanent white gouache. And I'm just going to add some, I already had some in here. I'm going to put a little more. And then I'm going to add water. Create a nice pool of a milky fluid. And then I'm going to tap that to add extra snow. beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I was going to sing it, but I thought, no, you might not like that so much. Okay, a bit more snow on there. And next, I feel like that's quite white there, so I want to create a shadow in the snow. I don't know where it's coming from or why it's there, but it's there. I'll just do a random one. There we go. And I will get some a wet brush, and let it bleed down. It kind of looks like another hill here. Maybe carry it up a little bit as well. That adds a bit of interest to the painting. Great. Good. I always am telling myself, don't be too fussy, don't be too fussy. A little bit of extra blue. Good. Okay. Now it is time to sign it. Actually, there's one thing that's bugging me. It's this shadow here. From his tummy to hers. I think I want to define that even a little bit better. There. Yep. I'm going to stop there. And to sign this, I'm going to get my liner brush. And pick a color that's on here, a nice dark color. Make sure that's dry, and I just initial. Okay, time for the big reveal. One, two. Such beautiful crisp white edges. There it is. How lovely is that? There's a nice Christmas card for someone. A little snow family. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you were able to paint along, and if you did and you created a Christmas card or a painting inspired by this, please leave me a message and maybe a picture to share what you did. You can also find me on Instagram at Jasmine Rempel Art, JasmineRempel Art. Until next time, happy painting.